All right, I'm going to talk to you guys today about some of the hard truths of bodybuilding and competing and how it affects you psychologically. I have my degree in psychology, so I can explain it to you in such a way that isn't fictitious or not making sense for many people to understand. So I competed this weekend, and it's a great feat. It's a great goal and challenge to complete. But what happens with competing psychologically is I didn't place where I wanted to place. And so today we get what we call the post-show blues. So a couple things happen with the post-show blues. One, you're over that high of getting ready for the show. Now you're back into your regular routine. Secondly, you're recovering. Your body just took a beating and you don't feel 100% yet. But you're enjoying food, and that's great. But food is not the same thing as it is for a normal person and somebody who's a bodybuilder. Food affects us very differently. The way that we gain fat is very different. So it is a dangerous line that you cross when you start eating normal food. One of the biggest key players that psychologically happen when you're doing these shows is that one of the common things that I hear from a lot of people that compete, and me as well, is that you never feel good enough, even though you have this amazing physique that 99% of the population will never have. They'll never achieve it. And the reason is that we are chasing this goal, this next physique, this next goal, and you want to become better and better and better. And it's like a never-ending sand canal that you just do not fill up. And it is quite normal to feel this way after the shows. I'm going to give you some of the tips that I use. And it doesn't just apply to bodybuilding. It could apply to any type of weight loss or any type of blues that you might be going through. But these help me. It's all self-talk. It's all having to do with the habits that I've created and the books I've read and what I've studied in psychology. For starters, I always remind myself to relax. When I start to get a little bit agitated and when I start to feel a little sad about why I didn't place well, what happened with the show, I take a deep breath and I remind myself how far I've come. That's the first thing. It instantaneously makes me feel better. The second thing, after reminding myself how far I've come, is to be kind to myself. I try to treat myself like I would treat a friend that was going through the same situation. What would I want to tell my friend if they were feeling down about this show that they just had, this accomplishment, and they didn't feel well afterwards? And I would be kind. So the second tip that I have is to be kind to yourself. Remind yourself of just being gentle and understanding to take things a day at a time. You're not going to get fat overnight. These things take time. But reminding yourself to be kind. You will be okay and everything can be restarted tomorrow. And lastly, surrounding yourself with the people you love and just enjoying the time that you have, because we spend so much time in bodybuilding on ourselves. When we're off of the shows, it's nice to catch up and to just take a breather and just relax. For me, that means just being with my son and not having to worry about my meal every 2.5 hours, although I still eat the same, but I'm a little bit less pressured because I don't have that show. And I know many people would think, wow, bodybuilding, that's really just a bunch of people that are full of themselves. But bodybuilding is quite complex, and the psychology behind bodybuilding is even more complex. There's so much that goes into it, and so much that our psychological state goes through. And it is a constant effort to keep up and to make sure that you stay healthy.